The second game, as part of the double header on Friday night in Belfield, is a very important game between Naomh and Oulart de Ballop. Naomh are currently top of the group on 6 points, and Oulart are currently at the foot of the group with only 1 point. Obviously a vital game for Oulart, and not maybe quite as vital for Gorey, but no doubt both teams will still be trying to win the game to lay down a marker, certainly anyway, Ed.
Yeah, it is of course it's a vital game for Oulart, you know, but Gorey have 3 wins, they're qualified, so maybe now, you know, that might take the edge off them. And I'm hearing that they have a few players injured. Brendan Travers is out anyway, and I'm hearing that Jack Cullen and Aidan Doyle are out, so they probably mightn't risk them in a match like that when they're already qualified. Now if the 3 of them are out, I think it weakens them considerably, and when you consider that Sean Murphy will probably play for Oulart, that's a big plus for Oulart. So, you know, people will say that Gorey will win this match. I wouldn't be so sure of that now when you factor in everything there. Oulart are fighting for their lives, and you know, they've had some great players over the years, and that team doesn't know Oulart anything. They really put on everything for their parish, and you know, they've won so much. I don't think they'll die that easy myself. So I think Oulart could sneak this one on the quiet.
What are your initial thoughts on the game, Darren?
So look, it's a knockout game. It's more or less a quarter final for Oulart at this stage. I don't agree with Ed there about Gorey taking it handy. I think, especially Willie Cleary over him, I think like nothing more than knocking Oulart out of the championship. Myself, I'd expect all them lads to be playing on Friday evening. Look, Sean Murphy's a big loss to Oulart if he's playing. And Ed said the 3 lads are not playing, which there's a possibility maybe. I give Oulart a bit of a chance, but on the game yesterday evening now I wouldn't be holding out so much. Gorey will be going into this game red hot favourites. Like they're one of the favourites for the championship. They've played 3-1-3. The Martins played 3-1-3. Top of the group, Oulart are bottom of the group. You know, Oulart need to win this game, and they need to win the next game to give themselves some sort of a chance of getting through the group. It's unfamiliar territory for these lads, but as I said, they owe the jersey nothing, but maybe they owe it to themselves on Friday evening to go in Belfield, and I'm pretty sure now there'll be a real good crowd now in Belfield on Friday night there to see Oulart. Maybe even bet or hoping to be bet, but I'm just hoping the boys go and hurl like they can hurl, and let's see how it goes.
I'd say it'll certainly be a very, very hotly contested game, considering how important it is for Oulart. But one thing they're going to have to do, Ed, is they're going to have to curb Conor MacDonald. He scored 1-5 in the first half against Islegate at the weekend. He had a goal after about 5 seconds, I'd say, and he was just unplayable really. How would you go about? How would you think Oulart should go about stopping him?
Yeah, well, like when Conor MacDonald hits that form, like, you know, who is going to stop him? You know, he's one of the top forwards in the country. He's after having a great year for Wexford, and like I was just thinking the other day, like when he started with Gorey in 2012, Gorey were an intermediate 8 club. He's after winning that championship. He won intermediate, and now he brought him to win senior. You know, and a lot of it is down to him. I know there was a lot of good players as well, but a lot of it is down to his sheer brilliance. And you know, when he hits that form, I don't know of anyone that would stop him in Wexford. Yeah. You know, but the thing is to stop the supply going into him might be a start.
Yeah, they're going to obviously try to make sure the ball doesn't go into him. But at the other end of the field, equally so, Gorey are going to have to come up with some plan to stop Desmond from scoring. Like he's irrepressible really. He scored 5 points from play the other day, and he just keeps doing it year after year. He's able to find a heap of space. He's able to get the scores, and he's really a very reliable forward. And
yeah, that's the thing with Des. You see, he's always looking for the space, and they give him the ball, and he's very, very accurate off his left in particular, even though he's right-handed, but off his left he's very accurate, and he always seems to find the space. He's always on the move, you know, and he's in great shape for his age. He's 36 years of age, he's in great shape. Yeah, he's been a great hurler in fairness to Des.
We mentioned also, Darren, that missing Sean Murphy would be a big loss obviously for Oulart last weekend, but maybe missing Liam Dunn last weekend might have been a bit of a loss as well. When you have a manager there as sort of a leader, and it might have some impact on maybe the way the team would perform.
I don't know, you'd have to ask some of the boys playing now, Peter, that question. I was only in the line, in the stand, so I can't answer that. But Ed was on about Conor MacDonald there, how Oulart are going to curb him, about being unplayable. Yeah, he at times he is unplayable, but you know, the lad beside him is equally as good. The chap they got from Ballygarrett last year, and look, a spade, if they hadn't got him, they wouldn't have won the county final. That's, you know, if he hadn't got off that red card in the semi-final, they wouldn't have won the final last year. So he's not just a one-man show like young Dunbar's is nearly as good or as important to Gorey.
If you were to put a positive slant from an Oulart perspective, Ed, what would you see as the things they could be focusing on?
Yeah, well, like you only have to look at the 3 games they've played. They've been very, very competitive. Like, you know, it looked like Aldgate were going to run away with the game, and they had a man sent off, and they got back into the game. So they're a bit like the Kilkenny team. Like, you know, you never have them beaten. You have to be twice as good as them to beat them, and that's what made them a great team over the last few years. You know.
And the same to you, Darren. Then, what would you see as the things, the positives they could maybe focus on?
Yeah, look, they've only lost a couple of games by a couple of points. Like 3 points yesterday evening, 3 points again, 3 or 4 points again. Aldgate and drew with Radnor, which they should have won, really. And you know, it's I suppose they're coming in under the radar there again. Gorey, they've nothing to lose. Like Gorey, they're through. Oulart are playing for their lives. Not saying they're nothing to lose, but they've everything to lose. But if anything can spur them on, maybe it's that, like, they know it's knockout, and even when they get to knockout, they're very hard to beat. Like,
yeah, I was just going to say, you know, if Oulart do manage to get to the quarter final, who would want to meet him? In fairness, you know, they'd be one of the teams you want to avoid.
Well, looking at the group at the moment, there's a very good chance that if Oulart do win their last 2 games, they could end up in 3rd or 4th and have to play St Martin's or maybe the Raps. But there is a possibility if Oulart do qualify, it could be an Oulart and St Martin's quarter final.
Well, that'd be a great game.
I know there's a lot of water to go under the bridge before that, but it would be a great game to look forward to. All right,
certainly would.
We'll just get predictions then. Ed?
Something tells me the Oulart are going to do this one. You know, I think they have lads to stop Cathal Dunbar and Conor MacDonald, to limit him, not stop him, but limit him. I think there's so much on the line for Oulart. I think they will produce their best game of the championship. So I'm tipping them to win by 1 point.
And Darren?
I'm hoping Ed is right. But my heart is saying Oulart, my head is saying Gorey, and I'm kind of going again the grain now. But I just think if Gorey have all their players playing and hurl the way they're hurling, and Oulart are hurling the way they're hurling at the moment, I just see Gorey beating Oulart by a couple of points. I think it's going to be tight either way, but I can just see Gorey shaking it.
And I'm going to be a little bit like Ed last week and stick my neck out and go for a draw.